Hello, this is George Hutton, and you are listening to the Mind Persuasion Podcast. Today we'll be finishing up our study of Tung Fu, the Art of Interpersonal Reframe. Listening to this podcast may have given you some ideas, but if you want to use these patterns conversationally and fluently, you'll need to practice them. There are many ways that you can do this. The very best and thorough way to practice these would be to choose the ones that you'd like to use the most, the one that answers the objections that are either objections you fear the most, or the objections that are the most closely related to something you would like to achieve the most. Choose one, and then write out the objections at least once. Write them out exactly as they are presented here. Once you've done that, then write them out again by changing either side of the A-B equation, using similar words. For example, if you've chosen to overcome the objection, money is good, then you can change money for plenty of other adjectives like wealth, income, prosperity, riches, etc. Then write out all the reframes using each of those synonyms for money. Then take the other side, good, and come up with plenty of synonyms for that. Then write out the objections for each one of those. Make no mistake, this will take a while. For example, if you come up with 4 synonyms for money and 4 synonyms for good, that's potentially 24 different combinations. If you write out one set of objections per day, then that would take nearly a month. But consider what you would be doing. You would be building the neurology and the ability to quickly and fluently overcome any idea that sounds like money is good. And since the reframes to the belief money is good will be built into your deep thinking, that energy will become part of your frame. This effort will change how you believe about money on a deep level. And paradoxically, if you feel you need money, it will be hard to get. But once you convince yourself that the idea money is good is an opinion and one that you can easily overcome, getting money will seem a lot easier. Money and romantic relationships are very similar in that the more you consciously try to make them happen, the harder they will seem. But if you simply forget about them or even change how you feel about them, they will happen much more naturally and automatically. This is just one effect of building these reframes into your deep thinking. When you do this, the objections you fear from others, for example, if you'd like to ask out a girl, but are terrified she'll say she doesn't date guys that aren't attractive, since the fear will be gone, you will become more attractive. Being afraid of being told you aren't attractive makes you unattractive. Believing that not being attractive really is an opinion that you can easily reframe and therefore not scary at all, that will actually make you attractive. The truth about objections and the obstacles to happiness that they represent is they only exist in your mind. On top of that, the objections come because you are afraid they will come. Once you remove the fear of them by writing out the reframes on all the potential permutations, the objections won't come. This is not something that is intuitive. The way the human mind works is backward in a lot of ways. We fear objections, which creates the objections, which seems to validate their existence. Once we remove the fear of the objections by writing out all the reframes, they will never come. They won't vanish in the world until you banish them from your mind. And you can banish all the objections you want simply by writing out the reframes for them. Sure, this takes time, but that's all it takes. If you are willing to put in the time, you'll be astonished how profoundly these will affect every aspect of your life. Goal setting. Anytime you create a goal, you can make it much easier to achieve by coming up with potential reasons you can achieve them. Do some brainstorming and come up with answers to the sentence stem. I might not achieve my goal because... Then take whatever objections you come up with and blast them to smithereens with these patterns. Deeper changes. Once you spend a month or so diligently writing these out, you will soon see the world as being much more flexible. This will make you a much more creative and flexible thinker, which will make you a much more flexible, interesting, and magnetic conversationalist. Most people think and speak in very linear concepts and ideas. Topic A leads to B, and topic B leads to C, and if C is bad, so the conversation stops. But you will soon be able to take something simple, A leading to B, and twist it into a wonderful, mesmerizing thought pretzel. as you exist now, you might find it difficult sometimes to keep a conversation going. Somebody might mention something like, the price of movie tickets is too expensive, and you might not be able to think of much to add except the common, I know, right? But once you start writing out these patterns, you'll see these A-B linkages everywhere. After writing out some of these patterns, you'll see a simple comment like, movie tickets are expensive, which is essentially in the form A equals B. And without thinking, providing you've spent some time writing out these patterns, several different reframes of A equals B will just pop into your head. For example, instead of saying the expected and common, I know, right? You may say, well, whether movie tickets are expensive isn't the issue. What's really cool is that the CGI technology has gotten so good that it's much easier to slip into a trance and go along for the ride. And even if they are expensive, that's actually a good thing because it's causing companies like Netflix and Amazon to come up with cheaper alternatives. And if you add YouTube into the mix, there are tons of opportunities for streaming entertainment. Another cool thing is that because they are more expensive and we have so much competition, it makes going to the movies a special thing like it was 50 years ago, which I think is kind of cool in itself. This will just roll off your tongue without even needing to think. This will slowly build up your reputation as a very positive and charismatic person who can take any random complaint and turn it into a reason for being excited. And that is the kind of person people love to be around. Creative thinking. This will change how you think about all things on a deep level. Once you write out enough of these reframes on enough subjects, you'll never feel boxed in ever again. Any problem will come with plenty of built-in solutions. Your brain will respond to any A-B relationship by seeing all the ways to outframe it. Now, you might encounter them and feel stuck, but after writing out these patterns, you'll encounter a problem and just be able to sit back and let your brain automatically come up with potential solutions. Objection Collection. If you want to build some exceptional reframe skills and a powerful frame, become a collector of objections. Watch TV shows, and whenever you hear a character come up with an A-B objection, write it down and reframe it as soon as you have time. If you really want to build up some massive confidence, go out into the world and actually ask people for things, but do so specifically to collect objections. If you like, you can tell people you're practicing for a debate class or something before you ask. For example, if you wanted to build supreme confidence into talking to attractive ladies or guys, walk up to somebody you find attractive and say, "Hi, this is going to sound really strange, but I'm doing this for an advanced logic class. If I asked you to come home with me right now and have sex and you said no, what would be the top 3 reasons why you wouldn't come home with me and have sex?" Actually walk around with a clipboard and some paper, talk to several people and get real, not imagined reasons why people wouldn't have sex with you just for asking. Or if sex is too much, walk into shops and ask for free things in the same way. Then go home, spend a week or so writing out the objections and watch your confidence soar. I am George Hutton. Thank you for listening to the Mind Persuasion Podcast. For more information, please visit mindpersuasion.com/tongue-fu. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to speaking with you again soon.